Dear Heavenly Father, we come to you right now, Lord. We thank you, Lord, for your awesomeness. We come to you right now, God. We acknowledge your presence today. God, we ask you, Lord, to come in, God. Move in a mighty way right now, in the name of Jesus. Lord, we speak, God, that you remove every distracted spirit right now. God, we speak, God, that there anything that's unlike you, God, get it out of the minds and hearts of people right now, in the name of Jesus. And Lord, we speaking, God, for focus right now, God. We speaking, Lord, even for healing and deliverance right now, in the name of Jesus. Lord, we speaking, God, that you have your way in this service on today, God. Have your way, God, even in this message right now, God. In the name of Jesus, God, reveal yourself like never before, God. And help us, God, to hear your word and to apply it to our lives right now. In the name of Jesus, and set around everything you stand for. We bind every distracted spirit. We bind every hindering spirit right now. In the name of Jesus, we bind even the hurt right now. Physically, mentally, or even emotionally right now. In the name of Jesus, Lord, we thank you, Lord, for having your way, God. And we thank you, Lord, for the testimony that's coming from this right now. In the name of Jesus, we give you the glory and the honor and the praise. In Jesus' name we pray. We say amen, amen, amen. Give up to God, to the house, to the ladies, everyone here. I'm going to go ahead and come down here. I like to be down here there where I can get a chance to move around. But thank God for another opportunity to be before you all. Thank God for Pastor Logan. Thank God for not only him allowing us the opportunity to even speak on a Sunday morning, but also even for his healing. Thank God for his healing. Thank God even for the healing that's amongst us right now. Thank God for those who are being healed as we speak, mentally, physically, and emotionally. And I'm going to be real with you, even financially. Amen. So I thank God for what he's doing. And even if you don't see the change right now, we're speaking it into existence. And I'll receive mine. So what we're going to do, because the theme has been pertaining to being able to speak, and I haven't spoken to anybody pertaining to the message. And we're going to keep up with that theme going to James, the first chapter. James, the first chapter. James, the first chapter. And we're going to actually go to the second verse. We're going to read 2 through 5. James, the second chapter. James, the first chapter, and the second verse, the second through the 5th verse. Once again, James 1. We're going to read 2 through 5. If you don't mind, I'm going to read from the New King James Version. And if you have it, say I have it.
I have it.
If you don't have it, say I ain't got it yet. Okay. And it reads like this. It says, my brothers, count it all what? Joy. When you fall into various trials, knowing that the testing of your faith produces patience. Knowing that the testing of your faith produces what? Patience. But let patience have its perfect work, that you may be perfect and complete, lacking nothing. And then just in case you don't know what to do in this situation, verse 5 tells you what to do. If any of you lack wisdom in this matter, if any of you lack wisdom, let him ask of who? God, who gives to all liberally and without reproach. And it will be given to you. We're gonna go to the theme of verse 2 and verse 3. My brother, count it all what? Joy. When you fall into various trials, knowing that the testing of your faith produces patience. Now, when he says fall into various trials, that does not mean that you accidentally go into a situation. That means when you're faced, when you encounter a situation. But the various trials talks about every outcome. When situations come on one side to another. That means it might be your baby mama, might be your baby daddy. It might be your daddy, might be your uncle. If it ain't your daddy, your uncle, might be your mama. Any and everywhere, any place possible where problems may come. What are we going to do? We're going to count it all what? Joy. Now, some people, I'm going to be honest with you, it's easier said than done.
Yeah. Right.
So that's why we have to be what? Taught how to respond in various trials and situations.
Yes.
But in the midst of that various trials and situations, I came here yesterday trying to fix it, but that devil is allowed to go old school. When it comes down to situations, we're going to count it all joy. Knowing that the testing of our faith is going to produce something. It's going to, in other words, it's working something out for our good. But in the midst of that, this is what we're going to talk about today's message. In the midst of whatever situation that you're dealing with, whatever situation that may be going on in your life, no matter what it is or who it is, I want you to say to yourself today's title, I won't give up. I won't give up. The subtopic, fight your way out. Fight. Fight. I used to mess with some of the inmates and stuff. When I would mess with them, I would say, "What are you, a man or a mouse?" Well, squeak up. Because mouse squeaks. Men fight. So this is pertaining to all humanity. Either we're going to fight or we're going to cower out. Now, just in case for those who want to fight, thank God for you, we're going to fight. But just in case those who don't want to fight and want to give up, my question is, where are you going to go? What are you going to give in to? Who are you going to give in to? When there's problems on every side of your life, and it seems like you want to give up, look at what you're giving up. So in other words, if the devil is fighting you, he's fighting you for a reason. I'm going to say it like this. We talk about the devil, but when people are fighting you, they fight you for a reason. Let's be real, because to be honest with you, a lot of times it ain't the devil. Sometimes it's people. And then sometimes it ain't the devil and it ain't people. Sometimes it's ourselves. Let's be real. Sometimes it's me. M-E. Sometimes it's Y-O-U. So whatever the situation is, what we're going to do, we're going to first what the Bible tells us, we're going to count it all joy. Now that word count is actually, in the Bible, is actually a financial term.
That's right.
That means to evaluate.
That's right.
You're going to assess the situation. In other words, if there's a problem, you're going to see if we are saved and we believe in God, and there's a problem, that means that if it's going, then that means it's either something wrong with God, something wrong with His Word, or it's something wrong with us.
Yes.
So what we're going to do, we're going to assess the situation. What is the problem?
Right.
And for us to look at it from His lens, not ours.
Right.
From us to be able to look at, you know what? That person that's causing a problem, or that problem that I may have with a person, it may be that person.
Yes.
But then again, what happens if I'm the problem?
Yes.
Because a lot of times it's big enough for us to be able to see somebody and see, you know what their problem is.
Right.
But what if the problem is us? A lot of times we are waiting for an apology from somebody.
Yes.
But are we big enough to give an apology to someone else? Because a lot of times, just as eager as you are waiting for somebody to apologize to you, will you have the same intensity to go to someone else?
Yes.
Because many of us have been wronged by people.
Yes.
And one thing I always say, especially the past couple of weeks, Mr. Tim has confirmed it, it ain't the church that has hurt people.
Right.
It's the people within the church.
That's right.
And a lot of times the devil will try to make you think it's churches as a whole to isolate you from your responsibility of coming to church.
Yes.
Right.
But the same thing that we do pertains to leaving the church. And I do understand if you relocate because you might have moved or something like that.
Right.
But then there are people who quit going to church, period.
Mm-hmm.
But if you quit going to church because somebody made you upset, if you don't read your Bible no more, what happens if somebody make you mad at work? Are you going to quit going to work? I don't care how much of an attitude your co-workers have with you. What you going to do? I can't stand that. Ching-ching. You're going to go in your cubicle and work. But the thing is, even in the midst of conflict, you're still there. So let me ask you this. In the midst of conflict within the church, will you still be there? Because to be honest with you, when we look at it, how many of us go to Walmart? Y'all go to Walmart? Okay, let's go. Let's say a grocery store. How many of us go to a grocery store? How many of us go to a grocery store and we have had a problem with people? It might be the staff, it might be the customers. How many at any point in your life where you have went to the grocery store and you have had some type of disagreement or they have done you wrong some way, somehow? In the grocery store. That has happened, right? Okay. The grocery store is a public place.
Right.
The church is a public place.
Right.
You're dealing with different people. You're dealing with people with different backgrounds. You're dealing with many people from various conditions, different backgrounds. And this is me. And this is me being transparent, Pastor Logan. I used to think growing up, because I grew up here, I thought everybody that came to church that had on a suit was saved and delivered and filled with the Holy Ghost. I thought every young lady that was at church, screaming, had on a long dress. Hallelujah! I thought that she was saved and sanctified and filled with the Holy Ghost, and that was fine. But when I found out, when I got more mature, not just in the Lord, but when I became more mature as a man, I realized coming to church and saying amen or hallelujah when something sounds good to you is one thing. But pretty soon there's going to be a point where somebody's going to hit a nerve. Watch how they respond. But I had to be mature enough to don't base my salvation on people. I had to learn who God was for myself. But that does not mean that we as church does not take on the responsibility of helping somebody and what you would call it, mentoring somebody. We have a responsibility. So I have to say that because a lot of people, well, you know, you just follow God. But you know what? God put us as representatives right here.
Yes.
So I don't care how we tell people, you just need to seek God, but how about you help them seek God?
Right.
You got to help them know who God is.
Right.
So it's our responsibility. But I said that because I thought because they were saying hallelujah, that they were saved. But then when I see them outside the church, and I see them acting, you know, you say, hey, how you doing? They look at you crazy. You see somebody have a problem with somebody else. You see, because to be honest with you, I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't care how we try to hide stuff. A true character of a person gonna be revealed.
That's right. That's right.
I don't care how you try to what say, fake the funk. And a lot of times we always say in the secular world, we're going to keep it real.
Yes.
But in the church, we try to hide stuff.
Right. That's amazing.
And that's what discourages people.
Yes. Yes.
So I'm just giving this little sidebar for us to be able to recognize, you know what? Even in the midst of problems or conflict, God told us to what? Count it all joy. In other words, there's a reason and a purpose behind it. And a lot of times the devil would try to make us stop counting. Why? He wanted to discourage us for a reason. The devil knows right when you get ready to celebrate a game that you have spiritually won, the devil is calculating the next play for the next game. Because it's easy for us to say, God is good when things are going well. And then all of a sudden, right when you just testify that God is good, and that's when the devil tries to show something bad. Okay. You say God is good. Now, like Job, let's test him. Let's test him based on what they say.
That's right.
And don't you know God will always help us with our tests based on what we said.
Right.
Because Jesus or God may test us, but it's to show what's in us that's going to come out for our good. But God will test, but God won't tempt.
No, he won't. No, he won't.
God will test, the devil will tempt.
That's right.
God will test for your good. The devil will tempt for your bad.
That's right.
So in other words, you got to assess and count and see what's the difference.
Right.
Because a lot of times people will say, it's God that's testing me. No, that's the devil. But then the other time we say it's the devil, it might be God.
Yes.
So in other words, I'm putting in your mind for us to be able to what? To be able to watch, be able to analyze, to see what's of God and what is the devil. But remember this, every time God will test us, he would not give us a test without an open book.
That's right.
God will always test you with something that you already know.
That's right. Amen.
In other words, if we take a pop quiz right now, and the teacher say, you know what? If you don't pass this test, you're going to get a 0. But if you pass this test, we give you 100. That may be some anxiety, some worry. But what happened if the teacher say, okay, today's question is, what's 1 plus 1? Many of us will pass that. Because that's something we already did.
Right.
We know that. We're confident in what the answer is. Why? Because we already know the question.
Right.
But if it's something that's going to make you feel uneasy, if it's something that you know that's going to pull you away from God, it ain't God testing you.
Right.
It's the devil trying to tempt you.
That's right.
So in other words, being able to learn the difference, because the main thing is the devil will try to make you what? Right here.
Right.
He's going to make you think. He's going to try to cloud your judgment right up here.
Right.
Because why? Because he's the author of confusion.
Right.
And most of the problems and the battles that we deal with is what? Right here
In the mind.
in the mind. So what we have to do in the midst of whatever problem that we're dealing with, we have to count it all joy and knowing that what? There's something good that's going to come out of this situation. What I found out was, in whatever situation that you're dealing with, and God told us to count it all joy, what I found out was, everything that go on may not feel good. Everything that may be going on in your life, every problem, it may not feel good. But it's going to work out for your good. In other words, God is going to use that problem. God is going to use that mess you've been dealing with. And for some way, somehow, he's going to make it benefit while on you.
Yeah.
But what I found out was, even in the problem that we deal with, a lot of times, because they don't say it may be hurtful.
Yes.
But in the midst of whatever situation that you're dealing with, what I found out from personal experience, when I dealt with something that was so traumatic, And God told me something that blew my mind. I'll share this with you. He said, I'm broadening your audience for ministry. And ministry is not just behind the pulpit.
No, no.
We talking about reaching somebody who may be on the verge of giving up. That's going through the same thing that you done dealt with.
Right.
In other words, every one of us have dealt with a specific issue.
Right.
My issue may be different than yours,
Yeah.
and vice versa.
Right.
And all of a sudden, we encounter somebody that feel like giving up. Giving up their faith, giving up their hope, even giving up their life.
Yes.
But all of a sudden, you want to hear about this person that want to give up. And come to find out, God strategically placed you in their path because what they want to give up on is something you just got through going on.
That's right. That's right.
It's something that God had already gave you victory in. And then all of a sudden, you end up crossing paths to someone that want to feel like they want to give up. And a lot of times when a person want to give up, they feel alone. They feel abandoned. They feel like nobody cares.
Right.
They feel like God doesn't care.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, God chose you to put you in that path for you to encourage them.
Right.
And this is the thing. You don't have to be no preacher to encourage somebody.
No, you don't. Thank you.
All of us are ministers.
That's right.
And all of us have a ministry.
Right.
And even in the problem that you have dealt with, it's helping develop your ministry.
Right.
I'm going to say it like this for a word that we understand. It's broadening your purpose in life.
Right.
Because everybody have a purpose. And a lot of times we don't seek God for our purpose. Sometimes we end up just habitually just traveling, doing something, and sometimes we end up falling to something that may not even be the purpose that God has for us. But some way, somehow, in the midst of whatever problem that we deal with, whatever we have been healed or delivered from, God end up using that to help us to help somebody else.
Right.
So in the midst of that, what are we going to do when we face those situations? When we face those moments that we want to give up, and we don't know how to count it all joy.
Right.
What we have to do, you have to remember, a lot of times the devil will try to bring doubt. But we got to understand, doubt makes you look at God based upon your situation.
That's right.
But faith will make you look at your situation based on God and His Word,
Right.
on His reality. But also what we need to do is whenever we face situation, we have to understand that, number one, God said, I will never leave nor forsake you.
Right.
I will never abandon you.
Right.
And even what we mentioned earlier, if you lack faith, ask Him. He will help you. Why? Because this is a teachable moment between you and God. In other words, there is something that God wants to coach you
Right.
in your situation. Another thing I found out that problems in situations, it will produce or it will reveal your character.
Oh, yes.
A lot of times we don't know what we can do until crunch time. Or until we're in a situation that seems like I don't know what to do. And it seems like every time we want to give up, that's when God wants to step in.
Right.
Why? Because a lot of times we try to do things on our own. A lot of times we try to fix the problem on our own, but when we give up, that's when God has access to come in.
Right.
But one of the things I found out what we have to do, whenever we trust God, we have to think about if God allows us to be in a situation, then it's not our responsibility to fix it.
Right.
It's His
It's
responsibility.
responsibility. That's right.
So along with the situation is producing or it will reveal your character. There is something else that it will reveal also. That situation will also reveal the character of people that you call friends. It will reveal the character of your friends or family. Because a lot of times we trust people that God didn't tell us to trust.
Right.
A lot of times because we love people and we think that because we're trustworthy, everybody's going to be trustworthy.
Right.
And then we end up getting ourselves used.
Right.
Why is that? Because it's easy a lot of times for us to trust on our own ability because we see somebody We may have known them, but we really don't know them. We know of them from the surface. But like the Bible says, man look at the outer appearance, God look at the heart. Look at the heart. We mean God look at and knows the motive of people. So even when we look at people in the midst of conflict or problems, that's when people's character is revealed, because a lot of times people's character is revealed and it shows them who, they'll show us who they really are.
That's right.
I'm going to say it like this, especially when it comes down to young people. Because a lot of times we think because people smile in our face that they're our friends. A lot of times we think because we around people and we may have money at the time, and we, oh, well, I got a lot of people that like me. They liking my Instagram account. They liking my Facebook page. But let you go through something, then you realize how many friends you really have. True friends you really have. And even I'm gonna say it like this. Even sometimes, like I said earlier, this is not to knock anybody, but even with family, just because they're a family doesn't mean that you trust them.
Thank you.
I'm going to say it like this, because a lot of time when it comes down to family, this is not just biological family. It's church family too. A lot of times, because of family, we let our guards down. See, with friends, we have them to earn our trust.
Right.
But because we hear that somebody's saved or they're a Christian, we come in with open arms. And then next thing you know, they end up using you. How many people, I'm going to say it like this. I know there are some businessmen right in here and business ladies. You have partnered up with people that's professing to be Christians. They may have borrowed money from you, made a loan, and next thing you know, you don't hear from them again. You end up doing business with them, and come to find out, they're trying to steal you. But they say they saved.
Go ahead.
So that's why we have to what? We have to watch. Because like I said, not only it will reveal the character, but it will reveal the motive. It will reveal the ethics of a person. So we have to ask God to help us. That's why we have to have the spirit of discernment. And I'm always saying like this. You always pray about a situation or a person. And don't move until God responds. Stand still. We hear the scripture, stand still and see the salvation of the Lord. But stand still and see the answer to your prayers. But that's another thing. We'll talk about that. So, in other words, we have to ask God to help us to be able to understand the integrity, the character of ourselves and the people around us. But also, along with that test, God wants us to pass the test. Because we always say, if you don't pass the test, you got to take it over again. And if you take it over again, sometimes the retake comes in the most inconvenient time in your life. Right, just like school, just like when everybody is out on vacation during the summer, you in summer school. Right, everybody is enjoying their summer. You got to go to bed early and do double work to catch up because you didn't pass the test. And that's why a lot of times people go through the same thing over and over and over and over and over again. And unfortunately, a lot of times we hear people and they mean well, but they say, oh, I thank God for my problems. I don't thank God for my problems. I thank God for what He taught me through my problems. Because if you don't understand anything or learn anything from your problems, you're gonna face it over and over and over again. So like I said, these are teachable moments. So we have to understand that God is trying to show us something. This is time between father and son, or daughter and father, the father, for Him to show us and teach us something. But also for us to have understand what outlook we're going to have, because our outlook will determine our outcome.
Right.
What is your perspective when you're dealing with things? Are you going to always feel like a victim, or are you going to feel a victor? But also the other thing, we got to think about this. The most valuable item that was created through trash is something called a pearl. For those that don't know, a pearl comes from an oyster.
That's right.
And what happened, the oyster, the mouth is closed.
Right.
And while it's in the water, there's a little crack in the shell, and somehow there's a little small grain that goes into the mouth of that shell. And because of that trash or debris, you want to call it, even if it's one, it has to be just one grain, just one small, minute, pin-sized grain. What will happen? It will seep into the mouth of that shell or oyster. And you know what's going to happen? Now, there's something that went inside that shell. And now what's going to happen? That oyster will now produce an enzyme around that grain. It will duplicate over and over and over and over again. Until one day, they go in the sea and they get that oyster and they open up the mouth. And there's a valuable pearl.
That's right.
So when the problems that go on in your life, it can be trash. It can be a small debris. But what is your response? Are you going to be able to turn that debris, that trash, into a pearl? God is trying to make us learn how to produce pearls from trash. God is trying to help us to understand that He made us equipped no matter what the devil is trying to throw at us. We always think about no weapon formed against us shall prosper. Why is that? Because no matter what happens, no matter what I think, no matter what people try to throw at me, I'm going to always produce a pearl. When life throws me lemons, I'm going to produce lemonade. If life throws me tomatoes, I'm going to make me a salad. When life throws me potatoes, I'm going to make sweet potato pie. And just in case somebody want to treat me like a Halloween if they throw me pumpkins, I'm going to make pumpkin pie. I like pumpkin pie. So no matter what they throw at me, my response is going to be coming out something sweet. Because that's who God made me. I may be a trash collector, but I'm a treasure producer. So no matter what the devil tries to throw, God has equipped you to produce something that is so valuable. And no matter how valuable a pearl is, it's not as valuable as the one that produced the pearl. So we have to remember that God has made us to overcome whatever the devil tries to throw. And even when I found out how to say, if we acknowledge Him in all of our ways, He shall direct our paths. And that not only means when we're in the beginning of a situation, but I found out because of my many mistakes in life, even in the midst of a problem that I created myself, if I acknowledge Him, if I repent before Him and tell Him, you know what, God, I messed up. If I repent to Him, then He gives me the grace to turn everything right side up. And even when I got to deal with the consequences of my choice, He has given me the ability and the strength to deal with the consequences of my choice. You know, it sounds funny. Not only, I'm going to say it like this, even if you get fined by God, He will give you the money to pay the fine. So if God has given you a citation, repent. So that way you can get your money to pay the fine.
Go ahead.
That's right. But that's just like God. But unfortunately, many times we don't repent. And we still paying the fine out of our own pocket. But how about we come to our senses and just repent and say, you know what, God, I messed up. And if we repent to God, we won't have to deal with the problem that we deal with. We deal with so many problems in our life because we have not surrendered ourselves to God. Many of the problems, like I said earlier, many of the problems, it ain't God testing us. It ain't the devil tempting us. Sometimes our stubborn self.
That's right.
Because we won't repent.
That's right.
And just like how we think about the horse, because I've been told about horses and everything, the main thing that the main thing that the trainers try to do is break that horse wheel.
That's right.
If you can break that horse wheel, then not only that horse will be more submissive, but you have a better relationship when that horse breaks that wheel.
That's right.
But as long as you have that horse that won't break that wheel, there's going to be a conflict.
Yes.
And many of us, there's a conflict between us and God because we're not surrendering our will to
That's
Him.
right.
And we deal with the same problem over and over and over again. This is not to embarrass anybody, but personally, I don't care. I'm going to say it like this. You don't have to answer out loud. But if there's any area in your life you have not surrendered to God, do it right now.
That's right.
Because you're doing yourself a disservice.
Yes.
Your life will not be the productive life that God wants you to live. The abundant life that God wants you to live until you completely surrender everything to Him. I've been coming to church for 46 years, and I refuse to die and go to hell, and I refuse to go to have hell here. Out of all the stuff I've been dealt with, and God tells me, hey, look here, I want you to have this life. I have this beautiful life for you, but I want you to repent. I want you to forgive. But I ain't going to do nothing. Okay. But what I found out, even if I don't forgive, I'm hurting myself. But even if somebody else don't forgive me and I forgive them, that ain't my problem. So what I'm finding out, this is an individual thing. And I found out, as much as I love people, I'm going to be honest with you. I thank God for Sister Logan, Pastor Logan, Minister Tim, and Sister May. I appreciate everyone. But I found out in ministry, I found that you got to have thick skin.
That's right.
Because if you start preaching the word of God and telling people what thus says the Lord, people going to start hating on you. And I ain't talking about jealousy either. I'm talking about, I wish that boy sit down. He always, well, you need to do what God tells you to do. You can't tell me, the Bible says you start at home. Okay. When I stopped caring about what people think and say, just start doing what God tells me to do, I slept easy. And I found out a lot of times the devil is trying to put those people in front of you to stop you, to discourage you. But I found out the same word that we got to give to people is the same word that God told us to what? To encourage ourselves. So I appreciate the beautiful words that come into people say, but I don't depend upon that. That's me. And somebody don't say amen, I don't care. You know what I want you to do? Listen and obey.
Thank you. That's right.
If somebody says, oh, you preached, okay, that was a good word, okay, now, can you live it?
Thank you. That's right. There you go.
Because many people, a lot of times, they'll say that to distract you so that way you won't check them out. Sometimes it's better don't even say anything at all.
Right.
Just being real.
That's right.
But the thing is, the same word that we give to people, don't you know that God commanded for us to do the same thing too? I'm telling you, I don't care how I get ready to prepare for Sunday's message. I'm up here repenting Saturday night. I'm repenting Saturday morning. You know what, God? This is me. I know where my help comes from. And I realize a lot of times, especially when it comes down to ministers and ministry, we be wanting to talk to some people. Because I'm going to be honest with you, we're human.
That's right.
We go through problems, situations too. We go through problems. A lot of times we have to put aside our problem to take care of somebody else's problem. Why? Because they may be weak.
Yes.
They may be getting ready to give up.
Yes.
So what I do, I know who God is, but let me help them in their situation. And I'll come back to mine.
There you go.
And sometimes we never get a chance to go back to ours.
Ow. That's right.
Sometimes it's what I've seen, and I know many of them have seen many others. But for the leaders to be at somebody's house on Saturday night because they have lost their loved one, and then they get home late, get the kids in bed, and got to get up early Sunday morning to make it to church. So sometimes even open up the doors to the church. And then preach from what thus says the Lord. They got to put on the pastor's hat, the first lady hat. And then after service, they got to minister to the spiritual daughters and mothers. And then take off that hat and go home and be mom and dad.
Yeah, that's right.
And sometime that week, then be husband and wife.
Yes. Yeah. Right.
And after that, then be, I feel funny saying oldest. Be a man and be a lady.
Lady. That's right.
Be their own individual.
Right.
So they got to deal with being a leader, being mom and daddy, being husband and wife, and then being their own individual.
That's right.
And I'm using them for an example because look at yourself. There's a businessman, there's a business lady back there. They have responsibilities.
Right.
And then there are mother and father. And there are son, daughter, husband and wife, and then there are individuals. They have individual needs, individual desires. So each one of us have many hats.
Right.
So I ain't gonna lie to you, we need God.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And we know where our help comes from. But I said that to show y'all because a lot of times you don't know what a person deal with behind the scenes.
That's right.
So it's even good sometimes, even if you know that person is carrying the Bible and been pastoring for many years, it's okay to go and say, you know what? I appreciate you.
I appreciate that's right.
How you doing?
That's right. How can I help you?
Because we all need encouragement.
That's right.
And don't think every time we have came to church, we've been smiling every Sunday.
Yeah.
And many of y'all have gone through something and still make it to church. And how to say, put a smile on your face, but you're crying in your heart.
Right.
We all have been there. So like I said, you never know what a person is going through. So that's why it's important for us to pray for one another. But in the midst of whatever situation that we're dealing with, as I get ready to close, in the midst of the situation that we have dealt with, God has equipped us for victory. He has given us the victory. He has given us the tools for victory. One of the beautiful, I ain't gonna say animals, I said insect. A beautiful insect that really ministered to me as I began to look at this insect. It's a caterpillar. The caterpillar is a pretty, squirmy little insect.
Right.
And when you look at it, it's teaching you patience.
Yes.
For you to be able to really just watch and observe. It makes you want to, look, take a step back and just slow life down to be able to look at the life of a caterpillar.
That's right.
God has created many caterpillars.
Yes.
But I found out that caterpillar was not born to stay a caterpillar.
That's right. That's right.
That caterpillar was born to become a butterfly.
Yes.
But how does a caterpillar turn to a butterfly? The caterpillar, he's hungry. He eats. That's all he's known for is to eat.
That's right.
Eat leaves, eat little small stuff. And then there's a point where he stopped eating and attaches himself to a leaf. And once he attaches himself to a leaf, then there's a mechanism that God has created in him to make a cocoon.
That's right.
The cocoon, he ended up spinning himself around and around and around and around. God has given the caterpillar an ability to create something that's going to shelter him. Something that is going to change him. In other words, God has given him the ability to create his own problem.
Yes.
And in the midst of him being in that cocoon, what's going to happen? He ends up eating himself.
Yes.
And after he eats himself, his body transforms. And all of a sudden, the cocoon swells. It's bigger. And all of a sudden, what happened? Now, he started eating himself out.
That's right.
He started kicking himself out.
Yes.
And now, what was once a small, limited caterpillar that could only crawl, now becomes a butterfly that flies out.
That's right. Something beautiful. Yes.
But I found out one day, this is a story that me and a caterpillar once had. I went out to Mississippi years ago, and I had a conversation with a caterpillar. Y'all look at me crazy. Okay. I was sitting, I didn't tell anybody this, so this be between me, you, and whoever else you want to tell. But I was at my uncle's house, Uncle Henry. I was at his house one day, and it was just me and this caterpillar. And as I began to talk to him, I found out that he went to heaven. He went to heaven, but he came back because he had a problem with God and the angels. And so he was telling me his problem. And so he told me that when he made it to heaven, he saw all these beautiful butterflies that were just flying around with big wings and looking pretty and everything. And so they went to the pearly gates, and he saw them, each one of them, getting a nod and walking through the pearly gates. And then all of a sudden, the one that was talking to me, he told me he went to the pearly gates with an attitude because his wings were crinkled up. It was uncolored, and he was walking like Fred Sanford. He was bow-legged, and he was tall. So I said, what is your problem? Why are you going to make it to heaven and come in with an attitude? And he said, well, I was upset because everybody else, they looked pretty. They were flying high, and they were very beautiful in color. But look at me. I'm crinkled up, and I'm bow-legged, and I can't even fly. And so he told me, after he told his grievance to God, now God spoke back to him. And he listened, and then all of a sudden God told him, well, you see each one of those butterflies that are flying, you see each one of them, they're strong, they're tall. The reason why, you were not made different than them. But the difference between you and them is when they were in a cocoon, they fought out the cocoon. But when you were in your cocoon, you wanted to die in your cocoon. And you never experienced the life of a butterfly. I made you with the mechanism to be born as a caterpillar, but with the ability to become a butterfly. In other words, I did my part, but your part was to fight. And you didn't fight. But because of my grace, I'm going to send you back to earth. And for you to be a witness to other people, to let them know, if you fight, then you will become a butterfly. So in other words, our fight will give us the ability for flight.
Yes.
That's the experience of a butterfly. So I hope the butterfly ministered to you today. So when y'all go outside, from this day on, when you go outside, when you see a butterfly, you ask yourself, am I fighting to become a butterfly? In other words, am I going to fight my way out? Am I going to fight in my cocoon? And like I said, God has given the caterpillar the ability to create his own cocoon to become a butterfly. So in other words, God has given you the ability, whatever situation that you're dealing with, he has given you the ability to fight your way out. But unfortunately, just like that butterfly that never lived the life of a butterfly, he did not know his identity.
Right.
We have to know our identity through Christ.
Yes.
We have to know our ability. And the main thing we have to think about with our ability to fight, God is trying to birth something out of us.
Yes.
God is trying to help us to give birth to something that he has instilled within us. Like that baby that's in mama's womb. The baby going to stay in the stomach until they're ready to come out. And what they're going to do when they're ready to come out, they're going to kick. They're going to thump. They're going to do everything in that womb. And you know what they're going to do? The main thing, they're going to break that water.
Yes.
They're going to kick. They're going to do everything they can to break that water. But just because the water going to break on the first kick, do they quit?
No.
The answer is no. They keep kicking. They keep kicking. They keep on kicking until the water breaks.
Yes.
Now my question to you, in your problem, in your situation, are you kicking to make your water break? Are you kicking or are you just pitting? You got to fight dirty. You got to kick. I don't care if you got to claw, I don't care if you got to fight. Make that water break.
Yes.
And just in case you need a word to help your water to break, think about Galatians 6 and 9. Let us not become weary in doing good, for at the appropriate time we will reap a harvest if we what? Faint not, which means give up.
Give up. I'm this girl.
James 1 and 12 tell us, blessed is the man who remains steadfast under trials. For when he has stood the test, he will receive a crown of life, which God has promised to those who love him. And a friendly reminder, we always hear Philippians 4:13, I can do all things through Christ, who strengthens me or who gives me the ability to fight. And just in case, if we're wondering if all this is going on for nothing, Romans 8:28. And we know all things work together for the good of those who love the Lord and who are called according to his purpose. In case you don't know if you're going to fight, if you're going to die, if you're going to give up or what, let the butterfly, the caterpillar, the pearl, and everything else that was said remind you you were not designed to die in the situation that you're in. You were not designed to die in your situation. You were designed to fight. Now my question is, if you're going to fight, this is time for us to do it. But I found out nobody can fight for you.
No.
We got to fight for ourselves. I love dealing with all my heart, but I found out I have to introduce him to God and let him know who God is in his life.
Right.
And as much as we love people, we can't do it for them. We can encourage, we can show scripture, but we can't do it for them.
Right.
So just in case you don't know if you're going to fight or if you're going to die, I'm speaking right now, life in your life.
That's right.
And just in case you need help, just in case you just need a word of encouragement, this is time for you to come to the altar right now. We open up the doors of the church right now. Just in case those who are here who may not be saved, Romans 10:9 tells us, thou shalt confess The Lord Jesus Christ, thou Savior, and believe in the heart that God has raised him from the dead, thou shalt be saved. For with the heart man believes unto righteousness, and with the mouth confession is made unto salvation. And I'm going to say it like this, just in case nobody else wants to, I'm going to say it like this. I'm not going to die a caterpillar.
Right.
I refuse. Look, I've had enough problems as a caterpillar.
Right.
And when I found that as long as you stay a caterpillar, you're vulnerable to get stepped on.
Right.
You're vulnerable to get hurt, damaged. But when you allow yourself to come out of the cocoon, you can fly over your problems, over your situations. But if you do not want to become a butterfly, if you don't think that God can help you to become that butterfly, I will tell you right now, he didn't make you a caterpillar for nothing.
Right.
The devil wants you to remain a caterpillar. But God wants you to become a butterfly. For those who want prayer, we're going to touch and agree. For those who may even be watching right now live, we're going to ask everyone just pray right now. We're going to ask God, just in case those who may feel like they're all right. I want you to be praying for someone who will need prayer right now. Regardless if they in here or watching live. There are people right now that need God like never before.
Heavenly Father, we come to you right now, God. We thank you, Lord, for your awesomeness. God, we come to you right now, God. You see the needs and concerns of your daughter right now, God. We speaking, God. First of all, God, we thank you, Lord, for her heart right now, God. God, we speaking, God, that you help her, God, in every area of her life right now, God. Reveal to her, God, what you have for her to do right now, God. And even in the specific concerns that she has right now, God. We speaking, God, that you reveal yourself right now. In the name of Jesus, God, reveal yourself strong right now, God. And even though she may have in her heart right now, God, that she's lifting up, Lord God, we speak, God, that you minister to them, God, and help them, God, to even repent before you, God, before it's too late right now, God. God, we even speaking right now, God, that you help her, God, to even to minister, God, to friends, to family, God, even if she don't say anything, just her lifestyle, God, will influence others, God, of who you are, God, and what you've already done through her, God. In the name of Jesus, and Satan, we bind every distracted spirit, we bind every discouraging spirit right now. In the name of Jesus, we thank you, Lord, for what you've already done, God. We thank you for what you're going to do, God. We thank you, Lord, even for her praise right now, God. Even for the praise report you have given her, God. We thank you, Lord, for the healing and the deliverance right now, God. In the name of Jesus, we bind every discouraging word that might have been said to her or done to her right now. In the name of Jesus, God, we thank you, Lord, for building her identity in you right now, God. In the name of Jesus, God. And we thank you for the mighty work that you have already done in her right now, God. And what you're going to do right now, God. In the name of Jesus, God, we speak right now, God, that you hide her awareness, God, of your presence right now, God. And help her not to seize the moment, God, and praise and worship, God, and obeying you right now, God. In the name of Jesus, God, we thank you, God, for meeting her need right now, God. In the name of Jesus, and make her effective, God. Lord, we even thank you, Lord, even for the blessing that she has been, even to our church, God. Even to our family right now, God. Even to our fellowship right now, God. We thank you, Lord, for the word that you have given her, God, that will lift her up, God. We thank you, Lord, even for carrying her, God, throughout her life right now, God. In the name of Jesus, we thank you, Lord, like regulate her mind, God. We thank you, Lord, for what you're doing, God, even her mindset right now, God. In the name of Jesus, we thank you, Lord, for everything you're doing, everything you're going to do right now. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Amen.
In the name of Jesus, God, we thank you, Lord, for all this right now, God, that you have done right now, God. We speak about that you guide them right now, God, that you help them, God, even at the young age that they are right now, God. We thank you, Lord, for what you're doing, God. God, we even speaking right now, God, even right now, God, as they stand in the gap, God, even towards her family right now, God. We speaking, God, that you even bring healing, God, and deliverance, even in the family right now, God. Even helping her, God, to be a tool, God, to bring those in the family that are unsaved, God. God, we speak, God, that you help her, God, even at the age that she is right now, God, even to stand tall, God, and proclaim you, God, to bring in others in the family right now, God, introduce them up to you right now, God. In the name of Jesus, Lord, we speaking of purpose right now, speaking healing and deliverance right now, God. protection right now, God. In the name of Jesus, send the